And our next guest is a Marine who served with Sergeant Tahmooressi in Afghanistan. Sergeant Mark Pulaski joins us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Greta. How are you?
I'm very well. So when did you meet Sergeant Tahmooressi?
I met Sergeant Tahmooressi in 2008 when we got to Parris Island, Marine Recruit Depot. And we were side by side the entire 4 years. I mean, we were sidekicks, always together.
What's he like?
He is the most unselfish, motivated, lead-by-example Marine, a Marine's Marine, if you will. There's, without a doubt, this couldn't happen to a better person and Marine. I mean, he is outstanding character.
When he was in Afghanistan, now he did 2 tours in Afghanistan, one of his vehicles got hit by an IED, and I know that he suffers from PTSD. Do you know anything about this incident? Do you know anything about sort of his status or his health?
Absolutely. As far as the incident goes, I was there that day. Watching your friend get blown up in combat and not being able to run to their aid is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. He has got obvious issues with brain trauma. There was a second occasion where there was machine guns getting moved from vehicle to vehicle on the second tour, and he sustained a second head trauma. You know, his mental health, you know, post-traumatic stress is a very common situation with combat vets. So he needs the help. He needs to get out of there, get back to this country. The fact that he's still in there is ridiculous.
Have you spoken to him since he's been in prison? If so, when was the most recent?
I have. He called me last week. I got a collect call from the prison, and he gave me some very disturbing details about the treatment that he was receiving in his early days there that are very important. The fact that once everyone knows the international I surrender symbol is when you put your hands behind your head and say I surrender. Well, that doesn't allow officials to go ahead and take you down to the ground and beat you with a bat and dislocate your jaw and strip you naked and chain you to a bed for 24 hours. I don't think that's just system at all. And he stayed. He told me, this is from his mouth. What I'm telling you right now is what he endured as an American citizen and a U.S. Marine, was that he was chained to his bed for so long that when they finally released him at the end of that 4 weeks, that he couldn't even walk. He was crippled from such bad muscle dystrophy and joint pain and not able to fire the muscles in his body. It's absurd. He told me if you take 2 hands and put them together and take a juice box, is what they were serving him with a bedpan. So this is like POW, Vietnam, you know, prisoner of war camp type stuff. Not our neighbors in Mexico where we all go blow our money on Cancun and go, you know, send military funding. Everything we do for Mexico, they're supposed to be our allies, our neighbors, and this is how we treat an American.
Did he?
This is how he's been treated down there. Yeah, the media has been exposing him, and he's been living better the past, what, 2 weeks? We thought he had PTSD before. Imagine living through something like that. He's going to have a whole new case of PTSD after being stripped naked and chained to a bed. A piece of me is in Mexico right now, and I won't rest till he's home.
Did he talk at all about what happened? You know, I'm looking to see whether he said anything that sort of confirmed, you know, the investigation we've done, or actually, you know, mitigates against it. Did he say anything about how he ended up there?
How he ended up in Mexico?
Yeah.
Was that he got turned around. He had no intentions of being in Mexico, and like we all saw, the 911 tape proves that. And now you said there's a video out, him clearly pointing at the weapons. I mean, he must be the world's worst smuggler. He might as well drove up in a Panzer tank. You know, I mean, he had a gun, he had a pistol in his door pocket. He must be the world's worst gun smuggler. I mean, come on, let's get real here. And then the Mexican authorities want to say that his 45 was stolen from the Marine Corps. I mean, come on. The Marine Corps hasn't issued 45 since 1986. Well, this is a corruption story from an unjust system. This is ridiculous that there was even a trial. We all know that you can buy yourself out of jail in Mexico or pay off an officer. I mean, this is ridiculous that this is even a case.
Just as an aside, speaking about the weapons, we've been seeing and have copies of receipts for the purchases of those 3 weapons. Just so that I don't know anything about the suggestion that it's stolen, because we've seen the receipts. At least as far as we know, we've got the right material. But Sergeant, thank you, and we're going to keep a spotlight on this. We're going to try to get to the bottom of it.
All right. One more thing, Greta.
Yeah.
I just want to say, you know, if Malia Obama was chained to a bed, stripped naked, do you think there would be a trial happening right now? I don't think so. So let's put that up to our administration and let them think about that.